Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our look into the really baffling disappearance of Sarah Finch. She was 27, just vanished. Last time we touched on her journal, that mysterious caller.
Right.
But today we're really zeroing in on one specific piece of evidence. Something that, well, pretty much kicked this whole investigation back into high gear.
Absolutely. We're talking about an anonymous letter. This showed up in 2021, a full 5 years after Sarah went missing, just landed on a local reporter's desk.
And it's completely anonymous, right? Like no clues who sent it.
None whatsoever. No return address. Forensics found no fingerprints, nothing.
Wow. And it starts with this line, "You're looking in the wrong place." That's immediately chilling, isn't it?
It really is. It sets a completely different tone. Suggests everything we thought we knew or where we were looking might be off track.
So, okay, the letter itself wasn't long, you said.
No, pretty concise. But the details inside, they were specific. Things that made you think, how would they know this?
Okay, like let's break it down. What's the first big thing?
Well, maybe the most significant detail was the mention of a scar on Sarah's arm.
And why is that so significant?
Because the police had deliberately kept that detail private. It was never released to the public, not in any press releases or report.
Okay, so whoever wrote this letter knew something only police or someone very close to Sarah should know.
Exactly. It immediately raises flags about the source. Is this someone close to her, someone involved, or maybe someone just privy to inside information somehow? It's puzzling.
Definitely. And what else? It didn't stop there.
No, it also mentioned a safe house.
A safe house. Okay. That word choice is interesting. It implies
What?
what? That she wasn't just missing, but maybe hiding.
Precisely. It paints a picture of Sarah potentially being afraid, actively seeking shelter or refuge from something or someone.
Which opens up a whole different set of possibilities than just a standard missing person case.
Absolutely. It suggests she might have been trying to escape a threat. The question is, what kind of threat? And did she make it to this safe house?
And then there's the really visual clue.
Yes. The man with the serpent tattoo.
That's incredibly specific, a serpent tattoo. That feels like a real lead, something you could actually look for.
It does. It's a tangible detail, something investigators could potentially use to identify someone or at least narrow down possibilities. Ask around, check records.
Did the letter say where this safe house might be or anything connected to the tattoo?
It pointed towards an area, an abandoned property on Old Lantern Road. It's about maybe 30 minutes outside Asheville.
Okay, so a specific location mentioned. And this leads to another development involving the Deep Cuts Crime podcast team.
That's right. They actually followed up on this lead from the letter, went out to Old Lantern Road, found this abandoned cabin.
Must have been pretty eerie. What did they find there?
Just what you might expect, mostly. Empty, dusty cabin. But they found a broken window. And inside, near the window, a half-torn page from a journal.
Wait, from Sarah's journal? How could they know?
Well, that's the incredible part. They managed to recover it, and forensic experts compared the handwriting. It matched. It was definitely Sarah's handwriting.
Wow. Okay, so she was there. What did the page say?
Just a fragment, but it's chilling. It read, "I made it here. I don't know if I'm safe yet."
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm safe yet. That confirms she was alive after she initially vanished, at least for a time, and clearly terrified.
Utterly terrified. It completely reframes the timeline. She wasn't just gone. She was somewhere, possibly hiding, and still felt threatened.
So she made it to that cabin.
It seems so. And this cabin find isn't the only piece suggesting she was around after her disappearance. The Deep Cuts team also spoke to someone else, a local woman. She claims she saw Sarah, or someone who looked exactly like her, outside a diner in late 2017.
Late 2017. That's months after she officially disappeared.
Months later, yeah. The woman remembered specific things, same hair color and style. She said the person had this really nervous energy about them.
Nervous energy. Okay. Any other details?
She said Sarah, or this woman, ordered a black coffee, but then just left abruptly before her food even arrived.
Like she spooked or had to run.
It certainly fits the picture of someone anxious, maybe on edge, possibly feeling watched or needing to move quickly.
So, okay. We have the letter mentioning a safe house and a serpent tattoo. We have a confirmed journal page from Sarah in that cabin saying she wasn't sure she was safe. And a possible sighting months later where she seemed nervous.
It all points towards her being alive for some period after vanishing and actively trying to hide or escape.
Which leads to the huge question. Hiding from who?
Yeah.
Escaping what? We've talked before about Daniel, or that other name, Hollis. Could it be that?
It could be. Or Does this letter, this tattoo, point to someone completely new, someone we haven't even considered yet?
Right. And does this connect back to any earlier theories? We touched on the possibility of trafficking, didn't we?
We did. And, well, this new evidence, the need for a safe house, the potential fear she was experiencing, even the serpent tattoo, which could signify some kind of group or network, it does make you revisit that theory, doesn't it?
It really does. The idea she was fleeing someone trying to traffic her or maybe already caught in something, it seems more plausible now.
Yeah, the serpent tattoo, the isolated cabin, it suggests something potentially organized or at least very dangerous. But is it a larger network or something more personal and targeted? We just don't know yet.
And while the police are looking into the physical leads, what about the online communities? You mentioned Reddit sleuths before. Has they latched onto this?
Oh, absolutely. And they've actually dug up something potentially very relevant regarding that tattoo.
Really?
They found a possible connection. They linked the description, the serpent tattoo, to someone known to be associated with Daniel Ray.
Wait, associated with Daniel?
His cousin. Apparently, this cousin was arrested back in 2019. The charges were for illegal surveillance and stalking.
Okay, wow. Illegal surveillance and stalking, and a connection to Daniel Ray, and potentially matching the tattoo description from the anonymous letter.
It's a significant potential link, yes. It gives investigators a specific name, a person with a concerning background who exists in the periphery of Sarah's known connections.
That's huge. It really shows how these small details can suddenly connect dots.
It does, and it also highlights the kind of work the Deep Cuts crime team is doing.
Yeah.
They're not just looking at the main players, they're digging into court records, past incidents, trying to map out what they call Sarah's shadow web.
Shadow web. Like people connected to her who weren't initially suspects.
Exactly. People on the fringes, past acquaintances, anyone who might have had contact or conflict with her that wasn't immediately obvious. It shows how complex these cases can become.
This whole thing, the letter, the cabin, the potential tattoo link,
Yeah.
it really changes the status of the case, doesn't it? It's not just cold anymore.
Not at all. It's active. And crucially, if that letter is genuine, if Sarah wrote that journal page, there's a real possibility, however slim, that she might still be alive somewhere.
Which is obviously the hope everyone holds on to. So what's the next step? Where does the investigation go from here?
Well, there's another emerging lead, something investigators are calling the survivor file.
Survivor file. What does that mean?
It involves another woman from a different town entirely. But her story, it has some deeply disturbing parallels to what might have happened to Sarah. She apparently believes she narrowly escaped a very similar situation.
Similar how?
There are overlaps in the timelines, similarities in the patterns of behavior describe the fear, the feeling of being watched or followed,
Okay.
and the most chilling connection.
Let me guess. The tattoo.
The exact same detail. An identical serpent tattoo was mentioned in her account.
No way. That can't be a coincidence.
It seems highly unlikely. It's a connection that investigators are obviously taking very, very seriously. It suggests whoever this person is, or whatever group they belong to, might have other victims or targets.
It's like pieces from different puzzles suddenly clicking together.
Exactly. It creates a broader, though still very worrying picture.
So, for everyone listening, just take a moment. Think about these clues again. The scar, only someone close would know. The safe house, that serpent tattoo. The journal page found in the cabin, I don't know if I'm safe yet. The nervous woman at the diner. And just put yourself in that position. What would you do? How would you feel if someone you cared about just vanished like that, leaving only these strange, fragmented echoes behind?
It's a heavy thought.
It is. And remember, this information, this deep dive, comes from the ongoing work detailed in Echoes of the Crime, Behind the Mic. Definitely keep an eye on their updates as this unfolds.
And maybe, as a final thought, what does all this say about how information moves and how cases get solved?
Yeah.
You have years of official investigation, and then one single anonymous letter blows it wide open again.
Yeah, makes you wonder.
What other stories are out there just waiting for one small spark, one anonymous note to bring them out of the silence?